Welcome back. In today's video, we have a submission from Squadcreen, and it's some kind of a draconic princess on a mound of gold, probably within its cave or palace, who knows. So let's see what we can do about it. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is the background and the colors. If you look to the left on the color palette, I'm noticing that you have a lot of colors. This means that you have used a gradient for the background, but you have not used a gradient overlay for the foreground, meaning for the gold and for the princess herself. So I'm going to tackle the background as one portion of the feedback, and as another portion of the feedback, I will tackle on the foreground elements or the midground elements, and I will try to offer you an alternative style to yours. So please keep that in mind. I'm not saying that your style is wrong. It's totally fine as it is. It's just that my personal taste tends to gravitate more towards a bit cleaner style, while yours, at least at the moment, it tends to gravitate more a bit towards a noisier style. And by noise, I mean where you are defining details in a lot closer manner that I personally do that in my style, or at least my preferred styles. So let's see and what I'm talking about. So first of all, the princess herself. When I look at the fabric, the red fabric, I think it could be a bit more cleanly defined. So let's just remove some of these creases so we can define the fabric and the shape of it a bit more clearly. Let's do the same thing here in the background. And when I say the background, I mean this fabric in the back. We can keep everything in the shadow, and only on places where we want the creases to be visible, we can just put one line like this. It's more than enough to indicate that there is some creases beneath it, because if I look at this portion of the fabric from the top down, it would probably look something like this. So if it's completely straight, everything can be in the same color like this. But because we have this fabric folding, this means that portion of this fabric is like that, and specifically this portion which extends a bit further away, in this case it's in the light, and these two are in the shadow. So this portion over here is this one over here. So I hope that's one way to visualize it. Okay, so this is just one portion. You can go over this entire fabric and do the same thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the gold throne itself. I will do the same thing for it. Right now she's sitting on this throne of gold, and I'm not sure where exactly is the sitting portion, where exactly this throne is extruding, and so on. So I'm just going to go over it and define it a bit more clearly. I'll use my magic wand tool to select the lighter portion, and I'm just going to shade in the shadow by using a larger brush, perhaps something like this. Then I'm going to select this shadow itself and use the lighter tone to go over it, and then within that lighter tone I'll do the same thing that you have done here, and that is using this brightest tone and define the top edge of it like so. Now here below we can define it in the shadow, and there we go. So this is the before and this is after. Now I have a lot better sense where exactly is the beginning of this throne and where exactly is the end. And we can do this and go over this entire portion as well. So this is now just a matter of how much time you would want to invest into something like this. I'm not going to spend too much time because I think I got the message across. Let's keep on going. Now, if you want to define details a bit more, you can certainly do so. So now you can go in and start defining details. So I have to reduce the size of my brush. And now we can start playing around with details. Okay, and you just keep on going, especially this bottom portion, which should be in the shadow, and so on. Now, let's talk about the rest of this entire gold mound. You have a granular approach, which again, this could be a part of your style and there's nothing wrong with it. But let's try to see an alternative way how we can define the gold mound a bit cleaner. And this approach is a more cartoony approach, but let's go with it. And the first thing I'm going to do is select highlights and midtones and place absolutely everything in the shadow like that. Now we can play around with the highlights. And now imagine there is a line, imagine a line like this. And in this top portion, we will place like a pile of gold like that, all in one tone. We can do the same thing here on a smaller scale. You definitely want to have some shadowed portions, which indicate where exactly is the shadow being cast. Again, this is not completely a realistic approach. It's just an alternative way how you can approach it. Okay, and there we go. So now we have some places which are in the light, and we have some places which are in the shadow. Now within those, we can define the shadows and lights even further, if that's what you will. So for example, if I take this portion over here, right below where the leg is resting, I can imagine that this portion here could be in the shadow, because that's where this little hill is ending, and wherever this hill is ending, we can place some shadow there. You can imagine this being one giant hill, like this is one giant hill on the top. Within that we have one smaller hill, and so on. So I'm just trying to give you a tip how you can visualize those kinds of things. And now within those, you can go around, and if you want, you can start placing like the gold coins. They can be bigger, they can be smaller, and I'm using those highlights that we've used previously on some of these things. And I'm using this highlight only on this top portion. And when I mean top portion, I mean the portions that are in the light. And those within the shadow can use this lighter tone, and you can achieve a similar effect. Now, why are we only stopping at gold coins? Why not introduce something else? Let's say gold bars. So maybe a gold bar is protruding here on the side. Let's place some highlights as well. Maybe there's a golden sword as well. I mean, who knows? You can let your imagination run wild. So let's perhaps a handle is something like that, and it's entirely made of gold, or maybe this is some kind of a staff or like a cross. I mean, you don't have to limit yourself to gold coins specifically, but again, this will be up to you. Okay, so this is roughly what I've meant. So this is the before and this is after. So you can see that the shapes are a lot cleaner. I am trying to create larger spaces of a specific color. Instead of breaking everything up with lines, I'm trying to connect everything in one giant shape. Moving on to the background, which should be the last portion of this feedback. As I've said previously, there are many colors in the background. So first I have to connect them into one. I will pick just one tone, let's say this bottom, and I will increase my tolerance. I mean around 10 should be fine. And I will just go around and turn off contiguous and click, so we can see where exactly are these tones being created. And I'm going to do this for all of these tones as well as green. Okay, so now everything is flat, everything is one color. So if I use my magic wand tool, if I use like 5 colors, that's all there is, which is great. And because if I try to use it previously, so let's say I use a magic wand tool and I want to change a color, I can't do it because you see how many colors there are. So let's see what we can do about the background. Your background is a bit undefined. I would like to remove this brown portion for the background because I'm not sure if this is some kind of an energy in the background. I'm just not sure what it is. And I think it's a missed opportunity, especially in this case. So let me show you what could be done. Let's increase the size of these gold mounds just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to create some kind of a framing for our princess here. In this previous image, everything is very flat. And I want to create something that's going to emphasize the curvature of this throne. And I will do that by also curving the background, like the first layers of the background, towards that type of shape as well. Now let's see what we can do for the background itself. I will select this green tone and I will use the symmetry options. You can do this by going to view and use symmetry option. And here you can choose what type of symmetry do you want, horizontal, vertical, and so on. I just want to use the horizontal one. I will be using this tone, let's say somewhere around the middle, to create the background. But instead of just having a random mess in the background, I want to have something. Since this is a cave or a palace, I'm not sure, I want to place some let's say, statues or something towards that style. So let's see. And since this is a draconic theme, let's try to make some quick dragons. So maybe this is like the head of the dragon, something like this, perhaps. And because I'm using symmetry option, whatever I do on one side is immediately being replicated on the left, so I don't have to copy paste everything multiple times. And since this is like a part of a stone statue, I also want to increase it, perhaps like that. Okay, so I think you get the idea. So add some elements in the background. We don't have to overdo it. So now we have at least something in the background. It's a bit messy, I know. But let's keep it like that for now at least. Let's talk about gradients in the background. There's one simple way how you can do it. So if you really wanted to achieve that darker background near the bottom and lighter near the top, I'm going to pick, let's say, 3 colors. So this will be the first one, right from the bottom, from this image. And this will be used here in the bottom as well. And I think this is pretty much it. So yeah, it's very close to the current color we have. So let's pick the next one around the middle. Let's say this one. Excellent. And I will use it roughly on the middle, like this. And then lastly, I want something to be the brightest, which I'm going to pick right from the top. I think this should be fine. Now, how can you do the gradient between these things? I would say there are many ways, but one of those would be using lines. So for example, if I want to blend these two colors, I would use 2 pixels. I would leave 2 pixels empty and then place a line across the entire image, which is also 2 pixels thick. So something like this. Before that, I would have to select this color so I don't go over everything else. Now I can do the same thing, but with only 1 pixel line, like so. And if I want to go even further, I can skip 1, 2, 3, or 4 pixels even. It depends how much you want to mix it and connect it in that way. Now I will do the same thing, but for the opposite direction, because currently we have blended this mid-tone to the darker tone. Now we have to do the same thing, which is the opposite way. So I'll take the darker tone. We already have these 2 pixels, so we need 1 pixel like that. And then we can skip 3 pixels and make the top one like that as well. And we can do the same thing for this brightest tone. So I'll speed this one up. Okay, there we go. So this is just one way how you can do gradients. I'm not really sure this was the best choice for this specific type of image, but I hope at least gets message across. One thing that you could also do is create some shading for these stone walls or stone statues in the background, which can easily be done by using more colors and more tones. So yeah, that's something that you can play around with. I hope you take these few tips into mind. So the first one would be try a cleaner approach. Try using less details, and by that I mean try grouping together colors into bigger shapes. And just as an alternative style, I'm not saying it's necessarily better or worse. And as a second tip, try to define your background a bit more, because it's as important as everything else in the illustration, as well as in the games when you are doing them. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for your time and thank you for your submission, Squarcreen. I hope to see you all in the next video as well. And just remember, relax, enjoy, and have fun.